Howdy, it's Jim Morado, and this is late January 2023. We're in Lebanon, Ohio, and we're spending the weekend at the Golden Lamb. Very old, very historic. It's been there since 1803. It went through a couple of name changes, and I think it was rebuilt around 1815. But we like this place a lot, and some of the stuff they're selling there in the lobby. Nice fireplace. Anyway, I just thought I would show you around the hotel a little bit, talk to you about the room we stayed in. This was our third time staying here, and we like it a lot. We like the town of Lebanon quite a bit too. It's not far from Dayton, not far from Cincinnati. It's a couple hours drive from Lexington, Kentucky, and they've got this nice old, it feels old, lobby. And I don't want to use a cliche, but you do feel like you're stepping back in time when you walk in, and I like that quite a bit. I like the feeling of knowing that I'm kind of walking in the footsteps of history. And by the way, the room we're looking at there's a little dining room there with the door open. That is, there's lots of rumors of hauntings here. One of those rumors originates with the death of Clement Vallandigham. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, who fatally shot himself in that room. He was a politician, and happened, I believe, around the time of the Civil War. And there's more information about that. And of course, many historic figures have stayed here, have visited here, and I believe we're looking at the Grant room. U.S. Grant was here at one point. I don't think they know, I don't even know if he spent the night or not, but they've named that room after him. 12 presidents have visited. I believe George W. Bush was the only acting president that visited. And we would actually stay in the room named after him. And just to look up, we're kind of walking around the inn at this point, and we're looking down on the second floor. You see the stairs going down to the first floor, looking up at the third floor, and then you see the stairway kind of to our left, leading on up to the last floor. And it's a bit, it's not roomy. There's not a whole lot of room in the hallways. But, again, it's a historic old hotel, and they've preserved it very nicely. And again, they have little signs outside of each room telling you a little bit about the person that the room is named after. And if no one is staying in the room at that time, you can kind of peek in. They have a little chain there, but, you can obviously stick your head in and get a look at that room and think about renting it for the next time that you're there. And they have, little framed old menus and little bits of history all over the Golden Lamb. And again, the inn is famously rumored to be haunted, and there's little bits of information here and there about that. It's I know the first night we ever stayed at the Golden Lamb many years ago, I forget which room we stayed in, but we went to the restaurant and we were talking to our waitress, and she mentioned that she definitely thought the place was haunted, and she said she would never stay in the room that we were staying in. And kind of kept us up a little bit that night, but that's okay. I mentioned that various presidents have visited here. Ronald Reagan actually visited, I want to say in the late 60s, I think when he was governor of California, he came down to campaign for another Republican, and he made a brief appearance, and of course that was well before he would go on to be president. Oh, and the hotel is famous for having all sorts of shaker furniture and shaker items on display throughout. And again, the inn is located in Lebanon, Ohio, a very cute, charming little town. We found a nice little coffee shop we like there, an ice cream place, antique shops, bookstore. This is a great place to come down and just hang out for a weekend, or even an overnight or even a day trip. And of course, the Golden Lamb does have a restaurant and kind of a tavern area, so it's definitely worth a trip. It's located close to Cincinnati, also close to Dayton, and visit the Air Force Museum and come and stay at the Golden Lamb. That sounds like a plan to me. A couple of books have been written about the Golden Lamb. I particularly like The Golden Lamb, Tales from the Inside. Inside spelled INNSIDE, by Fred Compton, who worked at the Golden Lamb for many years. And he gives a lot of stories, some firsthand and some that he's heard. Oh, they had some stuff you could buy downstairs, some postcards for $1 each, and of course other items. Over here they had some, kind of branded items. The soap that they had, the kind of handmade soap in your room. You can buy some of that down here, and some jams and that kind of thing. And yeah, looking in the tavern, there's the tavern, and then there's also kind of the nice restaurant area where they serve meals. And I love how they have like the old toys and just lots of old stuff on display throughout the hotel. And that's looking at the tavern, I think, kind of in between meals. Very cozy. I've been there when they've had live music. I don't know if they're still having live music or not, but I know I've been here before when they have. And of course, they have to have some lambs displayed on shelves throughout the hotel. The lighting was a little dim while we were here. It seemed like everywhere, which kind of added to the atmosphere, I thought. And we're kind of in the area. They have a nice gift shop, kind of in the base. Yeah, down there's a really nice gift shop. Had some nice items, mugs, t-shirts, and then some nice decorations for your home. There's the menu. We had 2 meals here while we were here this time, and we enjoyed them both. Had some really nice tomato soup. I think they added some goat cheese to that. It just was really, really nice. Our friend Spencer, he's a young fella. That was his kid's meal. I had a turkey Reuben and some vegetables. That was really good. They gave us some rolls. Our friend had a burger. She said it was great. Another friend had a burger. My wife had, I think, the chicken salad sandwich. Great desserts. And everybody was really happy. Oh, and it was somebody's birthday, so they brought us out. Man, I don't know what this was. I had a bite of it. It was great. Some sort of like chess pie kind of thing. No, maybe not chess pie. I don't know, but it was just really good. And then we also had some chicken. And that was kind of a beef sandwich thing I had with some fried onions on it. It was really good too. Ate inside of different parts of the restaurant while we were here, and we had good service. I think, like everybody else, service and workers are spread thin, but everybody was friendly and doing what they could. But yeah, we enjoyed all of our meals while we were at the Golden Lamb. Henry Clay Room. I think I've had breakfast in this room before. I think that's mostly for meetings and small groups. And then we're back into the room where the politician accidentally shot himself, and there's some information about that on the walls. Oh, and just for what it's worth, Henry Clay's daughter, they think she may have died at this hotel. There's a whole story to that. It's in the book that I mentioned before. We're staying in the George W. Bush room, and Barbara Bush actually stayed in this room. And here's giving you a good look at the bathroom and the little sleeping area. But yeah, Barbara Bush stayed in this room while she was campaigning, I believe, for her son for president. And of course, when you have a first lady or a former first lady of the United States stay in a room, what do? You name the room after her son. Yeah, there's the branded shampoos and soaps. I like those. Little shadow box display about George W.'s visit when he came through here in 2004. Signed letter from W there. Couple of little knickknacks from his visit. I thought that was a pretty cool display they had there, and I enjoyed that quite a bit. I enjoyed staying in the room, knowing that a former First Lady had stayed in this room too. And of course they had pictures up from Bush's visit in town. That's kind of a cool one, a little light reflecting on it though. It's kind of hard to see, but it's just a great shot. They had this print also, a kind of a painting, kind of 9/11 related. I like the print. I didn't think it quite worked with the room though. Oh yeah, they have nice little keychain, key fobs. I offered to buy one of these on my way out when we checked out, but they did not have any for sale. I have a small key fob collection like that from historic hotels. I do not have one from the Golden Lamb though. And just a couple shots of the Golden Lamb at night from the outside. Anyway, just one of my favorite historic hotels. And I thought I'd put up a quick video. I hope you enjoyed that. If you've stayed at the Golden Lamb or if you know anything about it, I'd love to hear some ghost stories. I'd love to hear from former workers who have some ghost stories. That would be exciting. But yeah, the Golden Lamb, Lebanon, Ohio.